Today I'm talking to Erin Krueger of Compass Nashville back on the show for a second interview. Last interview, episode 113, we talked about how she has built her team of just 8 agents selling over $100 million a year and almost 500 transactions a year. Today, we talk about how at this level, she has made and continues to make customer service her best tool for lead generation and growth. Welcome to the Jere Metcalf Podcast, where top real estate agents tell how they do it. I created this podcast because over the years that I've been an agent, from struggling to successful, I've found that the one foundation that created the mindset, knowledge, and ability to break through to new levels was the camaraderie and sharing of ideas from other generous and successful agents. Those experiences catapulted my career. They gave me the inspiration and idea to further develop those friendships and share what they have had to share with me to make not only more successful careers for each of us, but a stronger community and better respect for our profession at large. All right, everybody, it's the Jere Metcalf Podcast, where top real estate agents tell how they do it. And we have a top real estate agent, Erin Krueger from Nashville, back on the show because I could not get enough. This woman sold 469 houses in 2000. Last year, 2019.
459.
459,
okay.
Wow. Whatever, right? 59,
goals for 2019.
Right, which is probably like 1,000. But anyway, she's been the top 200 teams in the country. I think you were a top agent in Tennessee. Anyway, just this girl is a rock star. And we talked about how you do that with a lean team. And we're going to go a little bit further because you've even had some transition on your team now and learn about what that is, which is hiring the right people and how that plays into operations and how you do what you do. So tell us a little bit about your team. I think you had, was it 8 team members, including admin?
Yeah, so 8, including myself. And we had a transition on our team, I think actually right around the time that you interviewed me, I think in February.
Okay.
One of my young team members, 25 years old, found out she had stage 4 breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
And that really threw our incredibly close-knit group just in a tizzy. And proud to say we've raised over 6 figures for her so far, and we're not done yet because we're gonna raise a lot of money for her so she can concentrate on her health. And so she's back in Pittsburgh right now. And we were growing anyways because we keep selling homes, and there was a need to continue to hire on. And so we have been taking the time from February all the way through to actually yesterday was onboarding, believe it or not.
That's so everybody, this is in real time, in publishing time. Yeah. It's going to be a little bit in real time. This is May 17th?
Mid-May. Yeah.
Mid-May. We're in mid-May, so that's been March, May, 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we interviewed a ton of applicants, and then obviously my team members got to interview them. Compass got to interview them, and we really have 3 extraordinary team members that are coming on. 2 more in the admin position, which is great, just to offer up more support, which you can never have enough. And then we also have, which one of the admin is going to be licensed, and then the other admin will be a showing assistant that will then go into be a buyer's agent position, because they always start at showing assistant no matter how much experience.
Good to know. Okay, so let's back up for a minute though and remind everybody, the 8 team members, including you, that you had before, how many were agents and how many were admin 3 months ago?
So only 2 are not licensed.
Okay.
So last year we had 6 licensed, 7 with myself. But we have several licensed team members that are admin that take on a transaction manager role.
Exactly.
And I think that gives just an extra layer.
Exactly.
So if I'm in a meeting, they can pick up, they've been working with me for 4 or 5 years. They know exactly how I think, and they can move forward with a repair proposal or something like that. which kind of makes it seamless. So then we've added 2 more licensed, obviously, and 1 unlicensed. And we're just looking forward to hitting the ground running, going into the prime selling season.
And the 2 admin agents, what's their role? Are they going to be transaction, listing, closing, both, all of the above?
So the unlicensed closing coordinator. And then, as I spoke about last time, I cross-train all of my team members. So the one who's licensed is going to be doing some showing assistant work. We're just going to kind of put her in a couple different positions. Obviously, she still has her own sphere, so she'll be the buyer's agent for her own sphere. And then she'll just work up to it. I mean, I'm very particular on how we do things. And so I want to make sure it's done the Erin Krueger team way.
Exactly, which is like great on steroids. So closing coordinator. Showing assistant.
So 2 showing assistants.
I gotcha.
So 2 showing assistants for the license. The 1 showing assistant will pivot and they'll work a little bit in listings. They're going to work, and I'm going to see where best they're suited for their strengths, because I want to play on their strengths, obviously, as well, and see where they can help us out.
Awesome. So I'm going to go backwards a little bit to the last interview, but I think it will help everybody. So your team is structured kind of in departments. Like you've got new construction, divisions. Divisions. You've got new construction. So remind us a little bit about that. And then I think we're going to go into some operations and some marketing too. Tell me. So
we have the investor division, and then we have builders and developers. Mm-hmm. We have our regular resale division, and then we have relo.
That's awesome. Okay, so you've got investor, builder, developer, resale, and relo. And relo means you're actually working with like the relo, or how do you define, what does relo mean to you?
So companies that are coming in. Yeah. But then also, I spoke a little bit about this last time. One of my team members came to me with an idea because we saw that we were helping so many families from a certain city that were coming in. And we're like, how can we capture on this, right? Yeah. How can we market to them to basically bring them in? And she said, I have this idea. I've been reading a lot. She's very techie. And she's like, I've been reading a lot about ClickFunnels and different marketing ways to kind of get them. And, do you mind, sending me to some of these classes or whatever? Well, I ended up going to the 10X conference in Miami in, I think it was January. And lo and behold, I was there, and Russell Brunson was speaking, and he's kind of like the founder of all ClickFunnels, if you will. Okay. And so then I finally got it. Seeing his presentation, I saw how those work and things like that. So I was texting Kat, who's on my team, and I said, hey, I'm going to, pay for you to do this, to go to this course that she wanted to go. Well, of course, they're always upselling you there. So
of course they are. That's their job, right?
Explaining everything. They're like, today, one time only, it's this amount of money. So
why don't we upsell at listing presentations? I digress. Yeah. But seriously, oh my gosh, I can't wait. So let's stick to this story first. So Russell Brunson, ClickFunneling.
Brunson, yeah.
Brunson, sorry.
He's talking, he's speaking about how great this is. I'm understanding. I'm finally getting it, how it reaches everyone and how there's all these different funnels that you can use. So now I'm going to stop you though. For all of our listeners, what exactly is ClickFunneling? What does that mean? Is that like pay-per-click kind of stuff, or is that something else? Well, no. So basically what you're doing is you're just funneling down. I'm sure you've seen them. So if say you're reading an article online and there'll be an ad.
Oh, yeah.
Say for instance that you were on Lululemon and you were picking out some workout stuff, and then you're like, I probably should be on a protein shake or talk about something. And then all of a sudden a protein shake ad is right there. Yeah. And then you click it and it's like, and you're like, okay, this looks good. And then it's like, if you buy now, it's 2 more free. And it kind of takes you through a chain. They capture your information and they're bringing it back. Well, it can be used in any industry. Real estate's just one of those industries, but it's also about how you use it. I mean, we're not given 2 houses when you buy one. I mean, it's talking about, you get a free relocation guide. put your information here about Nashville. You know, and then you're kind of capturing them, an exclusive list of off-market homes, whatever your niche is, luxury homes, whatever it may be. And then you can capture these people. And this is a long play. These are not people that are going to be, you know, in 30 days, close a house. This is somebody who's going to be in your pipeline, and you're going to nurture them. And so then we've set up, obviously, a way to nurture them through our CRM. And then Kat is responsible for nurturing them.
Okay.
And Kat is able to take on those buyer leads. And then when her deck is full, then she will divvy those out to the team, because this was her idea to put this particular marketing thing. And that's what I spoke to you about before.
That's awesome.
Is that it's very important for me, where people come to me on the team as a team player and say, I want to do this. Will you put the money behind it and make it happen? So I'm the one that's, you know, putting all the money behind it for all the technology and the space that we're buying. And she's putting the time behind it.
Yep.
Because I don't have time to do that.
Exactly.
And then we split it. And then we split it. Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. Awesome. So do you talk about the team splits do you guys share team splits? Do you want to go there and kind of share with us how you set that up? That'd be awesome. Okay.
It doesn't matter to me. I pretty much run my team very similar to a lot of teams. It's a 50-50 split between a buyer's agent and myself.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I'm the rainmaker. And so when you're a young agent, and this is something I normally take experienced agents. There were very few young agents that I ever brought on. You know, they take more time, obviously. So they'll be on a 60-40 at first but I'm quickly getting them off of it.
They're getting 40, you get 60, and then they get up to 50-50.
It's my time,
exactly.
More time of myself. And then they're gradually slipping off of that. And that is very quick. Yeah, I want them to make as much money as possible. So they're happy and they get excited about it. So it's just one of those things where I think I said before, you know, I don't tell people when there's a lead that comes through that maybe they called me directly and I'm going to hand off and I've already converted them. I have them coming in for a consult. I'll just turn around and say, do you want a lead? It could be 300 or it could be 1.5 million. It could be 2 million. I mean, it could be 500.
Exactly.
And they're like, yes, I want it. They don't ask how much.
That's awesome. Now, how does that happen?
Well, there's a joke on the team. It says, how close are you to Erin? How proximity? And we have a team member that we always say, she's always got a toe on me. She's like right behind me all the time in my office because I have an open door policy on my team. We have 2 offices, one that's a large team office, one that is for my assistant and myself. If anybody's able, there's a big round table in there. Anybody's able to work in there with me.
That's great. Yeah.
And I encourage them to come in and work with me, hear how I'm speaking with clients on the phone, how I'm converting leads, how I'm dealing with other agents on really tough situations. Yesterday, dealing with an appraisal situation on an appraiser that basically had a pride issue. And I was like, it's black and white, buddy. But to say the nicest way to get things across. So those who put the work into it, those who show up, get leads. I mean, we do have a first to claim through our CRM. So anybody who calls in, who doesn't call my cell phone directly, if they're emailing in through the website or whatever, that's going to be first to claim. So it'll pop up on all of their phones. The first one who swipes, it immediately starts ringing, and they can then speak to the lead.
Now, what program do you use for that?
I use Follow Up Boss.
Oh, that's right. So Follow Up Boss even does that. Follow Up Boss is pretty awesome. I've been hearing a lot about this Follow Up Boss lately.
A lot of people.
And that's also got a CRM built into it too.
Yeah, it is a CRM. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I'm curious about your marketing, but before I ask you about that, I want to know about these appraisal issues. So, like, how does that conversation go? You said, you had a recent appraisal. You're like, dude, it's black and white. But how do you handle the ego in that to get these things resolved and get the deal done?
Well, I mean, we like to be out on site when the appraiser is going to be there. But these Nashville appraisers, they're getting very, very sneaky, and they're telling us they're going to be there at 11, and they come early or they come later, and it's just, they just don't want to see the agent. So
interesting.
Yep. So I always, whether they call my transaction manager or myself directly, we make sure we get their phone number and their email, because I want to make sure I'm also sending them comparables as well as a list of upgrades that are in the home. Because if they do come when we're not there, they at least have the information. Exactly. And I always try to be a source of value for them, or just another source they can say, hey, maybe I knew about something that was off market that hasn't necessarily hit the tax records yet. It's not popping up yet. Maybe it happened yesterday. Just because of the sheer volume that we do. Exactly. So I try to come to them as a valuable resource to help.
And make sure they understand that's what you are, not a know-it-all agent that wants to cause trouble and have a fight.
Right. I'm just trying to get my seller to Los Angeles so she can be with her fiance.
Right. I was actually talking to a client.
It could be a win-win for everybody.
Right. Well, what you just said made me think of, I was talking to a client today who negotiates for a living, and he's like, there are people have their position and then they have their interest. Like, their position is to get the house to appraise. But what is that position for? To get this lovely client with her fiance in LA. So when you understand the interest, or what is the interest of the appraiser and his position, and that, you can get so much out of the way. Or, I'm going to quote Chris Voss, find the black swan. Same thing.
There you go.
Isaac's laughing, everybody. I love it. Okay. So you've got this great efficient team. You've got divisions of your team. You've got different team members running different divisions to keep it efficient. You've got a lot of ownership, a lot of responsibility. Going to give a plug, Energy Bus, great book, positive people on the team. Before I kind of segue into your marketing, what do you think is the biggest common denominator or key element in having such a strong, efficient, organized, productive, successful team?
It's just hiring the right people.
You say that like it's so easy, Erin.
It's not. It is not easy. Right. It took us from February to mid-May to find the right people, just for our recent hire. But I think you've got to find people that really want to work. There's so many people that are so that have this entitlement to them and just don't want to put the time into it. And so I set the stage when I do my interviews, especially the first interview I kind of do a litmus test, if you will. There's two things that I say. I talk about a luxury listing that we had, and one of my team members went out. Of course, we had to be on site to show it. And we had a professional athlete and their agent coming to the house. And this house was in Belmead, which is a very affluent part of Nashville. However, it was in a floodway, not a flood zone, a floodway. So critical issue. And so it sat for a little bit just because of that. It's not for everybody.
Floodways are not for everybody. I mean,
right. Everyone doesn't, they don't want to be in a flood.
Not everybody likes those. Yes.
But they do want to be in Belmead.
Yes.
Our price is good.
Key. Exactly.
So we hadn't had a showing for like a week and a half in between. So she goes over about 45 minutes before the showing, to make sure everything's good. She notices really quickly that there's a ring in one of the toilets. And she doesn't call me and say, what do I do? She runs out to her car and grabs a rag and removes the ring and just tells me afterwards. And I'm like, Georgia, and she's like, you got to do what you got to do. We got to sell these houses. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Like, it's a ring in a toilet. What would you do? Like, you get it out. I love it. I love it. So what is your litmus test in the interview, though? Like, how do you use that to...
So I talk about that we're that kind of team player, that I will, wipe up the muddy footprints. If I see it, I will do the same job you would do. I'm in the trenches.
Exactly.
And then I tell the story about Georgia, which is a true story. But then what I do is I tell them how really involved I am with my team and their goals. So every December, I sit down with my team members and I carve out a plan of how they can get to their goals for the next year. They tell me what their goals are. We write them down, and then we do action items to get there. And sometimes their goals, I know they could be so much larger, and I kind of push them. I'm like, I think you can do a little bit more than that. Or sometimes they're so crazy. I'm like, how are we going to do this? Like, what else is going to change to make this happen? Is this realistic? So there's all kinds of things here that we talk about. So I always tell them, I want to know what their 1 to 5 year goal is. So tonight, do me a favor, shoot me an email. It doesn't have to be long, just with what your 1 to 5 year goal is. Did you notice, Jere, that I said tonight?
1 to 5. Yeah.
No, tonight. I want the email.
Yeah.
Not tomorrow.
Right.
Tonight. So if they don't send me the email with the goals.
Yeah. What do you mean?
They don't go to second round of interviews. If I'm interviewing somebody and I say, hey, go ahead and send me this, I said to them, send it to me tonight. Yeah. They're not hearing. I need people that can hear. We like move tonight, so fast.
If you can't move that fast, I love that. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And you can use it with anything. I mean, I have an amazing assistant right now. I used to, back before I had an assistant, say, just do me a favor, send me your references tonight. You know, it can be something like that. But of course, she already had the references. So I'm like, she's got everything.
She's just making sure,
references.
Right. It's just a test. Oh, I love that. Yeah. That's so smart. Okay, what's the other one? Or I guess the other one was telling them or give me more. I love this.
Well, so I haven't done this recently, but in the past, I've gone out to lunch or a coffee or something like that with somebody during an interview. And I used to, when I was first out of college, I was in medical sales. And so I did not know at the time when I was, first being interviewed for a pharma position that they were really judging me from the moment you come in the lobby. How you react with the janitor, how you react with the receptionist. They're watching everything. They're all little molds.
Love it. Yeah.
So I remember sitting at a table after I had an interview with 3 people, and they said, okay, Erin, we're going to go in the other room and we're going to call you on this phone, and you need to sell us widgets, gadgets, and gizmos. And I was like 22 years old. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I'm in this big boardroom they just left. There's cameras I can see in the upper corners that I know that they're looking at me. And I have to keep composure. It's not necessarily if I'm getting the numbers correct.
Yeah.
It's about fluidity on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, they're judging that. So that was kind of an interesting thing. And then they brought me to lunch. And they were wanting to know if I would salt and pepper my food before I tasted it. If I made preconceived judgments before digging into the situation.
Wow. I never salt and pepper my food. Yeah. So.
See, because you want to taste it. You want to evaluate
I want to taste it, and it's usually really good. Anyway.
Yeah, the chef knows what he's doing. Yeah.
Seriously, or anyway, no, I'm having fun. Yeah. But now I'm like, salt, why would you do that? Why would you put salt on it?
But there are people that just make rush judgments.
That is so interesting. Never thought about that. Yeah. You could do a whole book on that. Okay.
So I don't have time to take everyone out to lunch that I interview.
No, and ask them if they salt.
Just a little litmus test here
but it's
there.
The little things. The little things. That's they tell, especially when they're not conscious of. They're conscious of so much, but when it's the little things that'll catch them off guard, then you can find out their nature, what they're about, what they're going to be like to work with, and what they're going to have to offer the team. Yep. Okay, so. We've talked a lot about operations and team, and I love Energy Bus, by the way, and you've just introduced me to a new book, Power of Positive Leadership, everyone. We've already got 2 books, and I haven't even asked for one yet. But on business lead generation, I mean, you're selling, I always say 469, 459, whatever.
Round up.
Tomato, right, yeah, 500. I like 500. 542.
500. Just shy of 500.
We'll go 500. We're selling 500 houses a year. So you're doing that. Now, I know you've got all these things going on, but still, how do what is your, it's, I'm going to let you answer, but relationship development, sure, some education in there, sure, some marketing, sure, but how do you generate that many deals? You're generating more and closing 500 of them a year. How do you do that? Is it marketing?
It didn't happen overnight. And I have to be honest with you, because our team is so lean, our systems are super tight. Yeah. They have to be. I think I spoke to you before and you did like a little soundbite about they can't get the names wrong.
I love that. You're like,
I know. My face was
I love that
moment. If a name is wrong, it's not going to happen.
And you're like, let me tell you something. Yeah. You can't get the names wrong. Love that. All right.
But it's true. Every little detail matters. So we're extremely conscious about everything. And when I say that we have a checklist for everything, we have a checklist for everything. For instance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yesterday I had back-to-back appointments. I mean, just from 6 a.m. early at a development walk. I was walking land all the way through. I think I walked in the house at 7:45 last night, and that's not normal. Normally I'll be home by 6:30.
Yeah.
So it was a very long day. And I was not in the office. I was from appointment to appointment to appointment. And so I had an orientation for one of my buyers in my sphere for one of their homes. And as soon as I come in, my system made sure that my car had everything that I needed for that day. So I'm handing our buyers, it's like the little touches, even though they're under contract, we've been building this house with them. They're at their blue tape walkthrough, their orientation. I hand them a bag that says, let's get packing. In there are commercial like tape, Sharpies, things like that. Just as like, let's get packing. It's time to go, like the movers. It's just something. And we do that with all of our buyers at the inspection. So it's just like that next step. We don't have to do that. It's just that little extra thing.
The details. So what's in this let's get packing bag?
So all it is like tape. It's like a commercial, the really sturdy like tape. Cylinder, like 2 of them duct in there. We've got Sharpies in there, all that kind of stuff. Just to start packing. It's just something little.
Yeah, but it's just thoughtful that it expresses empathy with a gesture.
Right.
And that you're there for them.
Yeah, and then we give them a closing gift, which is, really depends upon, who they are and, what level, obviously, of home they're buying or whatever. But we have a couple great gifts that we give. And then what we do is if they buy a home that has a refrigerator that's already there and it hasn't been removed, we show up to the house early before they get there for the final walkthrough on the day of closing. And we have the Erin Krueger Team pizza boxes. And it says Happy Move-In Day with our logo on it. And this box sits in the refrigerator. We don't tell them about this box because they're not opening the refrigerator. And we put in, we can put in a 6-pack of beer, we can put in some champagne and some wine, we can put some soda, a thing of water. But inside the box is our pizza slicer and a gift card to a local pizza restaurant for takeout on the day of moving.
Oh, that's awesome.
So when they have movers everywhere and they have nothing in the fridge, they open up their fridge and they have this. And I cannot tell you, this is after closing.
Yeah.
They may get this huge body-sized Yeti with all the alcohol and all like doormats and all kinds of stuff for closing and everything like that. But it's the little pizza box with the $20 that they are just floored about. It's just a little thing.
Wow. That's awesome.
And so that starts this relationship of these ninjas that I have, these water cooler ninjas that I spoke to you about.
Yeah.
There are so many. There are days where I pick up the phone and I am getting 5, 7, 10 leads from my sphere.
Yeah. So it's because when I talk to you about business, which I really love, it's like, okay, so how do you generate leads? And you're like, well, you see, when our clients close up, and then you keep telling me all of the things you're doing for your clients and all of your processes and operations. I'm like, but what's the farming that you do? Or what's the, like you're not giving me that. I'm sure you're doing that, but you're focused.
So when I first started in real estate, I paid for leads.
Right.
I don't think I could afford Zillow leads at the time. I mean, I don't even know if they were 13 years ago.
Well,
I don't even know. Zillow was around 13 years ago.
Zillow can just shoot me now, but I think it's like, well, I know people who do really well with that stuff. Yeah. But to me, it's like, it's like,
all about
why
what you
am I
make.
paying you to be your data call center? Sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry for all those who love Zillow calls. That's just me. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's the deal. It works well for those who know how to work a system. There's an art to converting a very, very cold lead, and not everybody can do it.
Exactly.
Two very successful realtors, and one started as an ISA, and one has never made a cold call in their life. And come the recession, if you aren't nurturing your sphere, the person who started as an ISA will probably survive.
Wow.
Because
now, ISA, tell us what ISA is.
The phone and call somebody.
ISA is like cold caller or
inside sales agent.
Inside sales agent. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's just because a lot of times, if you think about it, if you have a certain market, especially if you're in the luxury realm or something like that, a lot of times they're just going to stay, right? They won't sell. They'll just try to ride it through if they can. Mm-hmm. And that happens in every single price point if they can't kind of make it work.
You just figure out what the heck is selling, you sell it. I don't know what you did. I did. Well, how long have you been an agent? What year did you start?
13 years I've been in. So what is that?
So you were here. Yeah, you were in 08. You were an agent in 08. Yeah. Like in 08, I got really good at short sales. But I actually picked up some really good clients because I was clever in my negotiating. And I ended up picking up that's how I actually broke into luxury, because the builder clients were like, and the financial advisors were like, you need to deal with her because she knows what she's doing. Whereas, but anyway, that's a whole nother topic. So tell me about so when you go, obviously you've built such a strong team that really or tell me if this is what I'm hearing. You've got your divisions, you've got strong team members, you've got a pipeline of business coming in really based on really strong service delivery. In addition to that, do you do newsletters? Do you do mailers? Do you generate leads on your website? What does that look like?
All of the above.
Okay, so tell us how that works.
So I guess I'm one of those people that are not afraid to spend money to try new things, a new idea, but I also have to see a return, right? For instance, one of the things that I implemented 4 years ago, and this actually made a huge difference in my business, was I hired a PR firm.
Okay.
And so I started my career in PR, and so advertising, marketing is great. It's kind of that I'm telling you how great I am type of thing. Here's how many homes I've sold.
Yeah.
But if somebody is quoting you as a source, as an expert in something in the paper, that's worth so much more.
Oh, absolutely.
So when the Amazon news broke, I was the first agent that the Tennessean called. So that quote landed me a ton of listings because people are feeling top agent. So I was very strategic. So what happened was when I knew, I think, 2015, I knew I was going to be ranked #1 in Tennessee and 15 in the country for the most homes sold. Mm-hmm. So I hired this PR firm. And I hired them 2 months before the June rankings came out. And I said, listen, I know this is going to happen. I know I'm going to be, I have a feeling I'm going to be #1, but we need to kind of do a strategy around this because the firm that I was at, they don't do anything.
Now, pause for a minute. This was before you had a team. This is individual.
Yeah. Like I had like an assistant, like
whatever.
Closer.
If you're #1 in the country, and you had an assistant, of course you did. Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So anyway, so keep going. You had oh my God, she wasn't really an agent by herself because she had an assistant. I'm giving you a hard time. So anyway, so finish the story. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew like the frame of reference.
So this ended up it came out that I was #1. So the first thing that they did is they got me on the radio with, I think it was NPR or something like that. It was some AM, and I did not get it, right? Yeah. It was an AM station. I'm like, AM, this is what you're kidding me? Of course I'm like in the post, like I'm in post, I'm this, all this. But let me tell you something.
That's a big one. That's a big one. That's a big one. So yeah, go ahead.
I had no idea the legs, the years of that because it went on a written article that linked to the actual live interview as well.
Oh,
and anytime that you would keyword search top agent in Nashville, I was coming
You
up.
were up there. That's awesome.
To have a PR company on retainer, that brought me hundreds of clients.
Wow.
By all these articles, now I'm becoming the person, like the go-to person, for a certain staging piece, or talking about our market or opportunity zones that are now, that we're out. And, just to speak on this stuff at a high level, I'm their go-to person that they want to call.
Now, do you find
money to make sure that happens?
Yeah, the PR firm made the introductions. Now, did the PR firm makes the introductions? Do you keep them on retainer to keep that going, or do you kind of get your introductions and run with it, or how did all that work for you?
So I kept them on. I'm a little cheap sometimes because I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. It's kind of like with a lead service. I'll try you out for 3 months and see how this goes.
Right.
So I was just paying. I just basically said, do your thing. This is my goal. Just do it. I don't want you on retainer. Let's just do month to month. I don't want a commitment. And let's see how this goes. We have that in common.
Right.
And so after about 6 months of realizing, okay, this really works, then it was, let's put you on retainer.
Awesome.
But I'm like that with a lead service too. I'm like, I'm not going to go sign up for the year. You give me 3 months.
Well, and for lead, so
let's do 3 months.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, do you use a lot of lead services to feed the team, or do you have enough? How does that work for you?
Yeah. No,
okay.
I started my career buying leads. I still buy leads. Zip codes and stuff like that.
See, we're the opposite that way. Yeah, I've never bought leads. But
yeah. Well, so the reason why I do it is because there's certain zip codes where there's no one that touches my numbers, the amount of homes that I've sold.
Yeah.
So I'm coming up naturally as the number one agent.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then I can parlay that with neighboring zip codes where maybe I'm not, and then I'm getting that. So do you see what I'm saying? I use that.
You've got it
already.
Right. And to restate it, just to make sure I'm understanding everybody else's, is that you've created, I always talk about, like, when you develop business, you've got a position and you've got a prospect, and those two have to feed one another. So as you become more successful, you're more positioned in your market. So every time you prospect, it's easier and easier to win business. So when you're buying leads, you're already warm because your name has gotten so big. When you buy leads and you've got such great systems that you can follow up and deliver, you can deliver on it. A lot of agents might say, oh, I'm going to buy 1,000 leads, and they can't keep up, or people aren't interested in them because they're like, but I don't even know who you are, and you're just answering the phone, and who's the listing agent? Leave me alone. So does that kind of phrase it up?
Yeah, and the leads are everyone complains about different services that they use, or the validity of them or whatever, but it's only as good as your follow-up is. If you think about it, I'm sure you get phone calls. Every agent gets phone calls about, all of, all these latest marketing things that they want to sell you. I had a phone call an hour ago.
Me too. Isaac was here. He heard it.
Yeah. And I just, it just bogs us down. And
Exactly.
I just feel like, you know what? I'm a busy person. If you're talking to me about something that I'm interested in, I say to you, listen, I'm interested in this, but I'm walking into a meeting right now. Do me a favor, call me on Tuesday afternoon. That's when I'll be available. I have a time block on my schedule. So if you call me back on Tuesday afternoon, you're going to get me.
Yeah.
Now, that's a fictitious date, so nobody call me on Tuesday afternoon, but I'm just saying. But if you call me on Tuesday afternoon, you can try to sell me, and if it's of interest, I'll buy into it.
Yeah.
And if it's not, but guess what? He didn't call me on Tuesday afternoon. He called me today, which is a Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of Tuesday.
It's Thursday night, everybody. Thursday night. It's not Friday. No, I'm kidding.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm totally kidding. Everybody knows. I'm just, again, I like to myself. You're so much fun. Okay. All right. No, that's awesome. Okay. So now give us, because we're supposed to go for about 5 more minutes, maybe it'll be 10, but give us a picture of, in the world of lead generation and marketing, how would you sum up what and how you do it, or what it looks like? What's the picture of that?
So I spent a lot of money, I think, just on my regular sphere of hitting them between 33 and 35 touches.
Okay.
And we try to do it different, because think about it. You can't send them the same gift every single year, every touch.
Yeah.
And these are not, very expensive gifts. People like free stuff. They just like to be thought of.
And
whether it's their birthday, an anniversary of their home, or whatever. Like for the 4th of July, my marketing team member and I were brainstorming yesterday on a call. And, we were thinking, do we do little like cool shades that we buy off of Amazon in bulk? And we say, post your pictures on social and stuff like that. But which is really cool, right?
Fun, yeah. Yeah.
So my sphere is huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really expensive. I was like, okay, this is really, really, really expensive. What can we do that's flat so I don't have to pay like bulk? Like it's a flat mail out.
Yeah.
So what we're doing like custom like tattoos, like face tattoos for all the kids. With with the
smart,
the fireworks and different stuff. So you can like put that on your face and it's flat.
Exactly.
And it can go out.
Exactly.
So they can put it on their arms. Kids love that. Families, stuff like that. And then they can post it on social.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so because I'm going to ask you, we're going to get your listing presentation in the next 2 minutes. But before I do that, so like how many newsletters do you send out? Do you have, obviously you have like your 33 touch to your sphere of influence, and then you have follow-up programs on Follow Up Boss that are probably automated, and you do newsletters once a month? Quarterly. And then you do mail or snail mail. Do you do snail mail?
I do.
And how often?
I do that as needed. I do it at certain times of the year. I have to be careful because if you know anything about print mail, there's certain bigger times of the year where print mail is actually has better capture rate. Right. So we kind of do it like more into the fall time period. That works better for us. And then we also kind of go and do it from we just did one from April, beginning of May. Like there's like that little bridge right there. Yeah. So those are 2 time periods that
Now, how do you know which time periods work?
I just read an article sometime, somewhere, and I was like, okay,
she
this
knows
is what
that from somewhere. Okay, yeah. So you've got PR firm, snail mail when it works, according to the article, and then you've got, or according to research, we'll just call it that. Yeah. And then you've got your newsletters that go out quarterly, and then you've got kind of your gifts and whatnot that goes out. And then for listings, do you do postcards? Do you do all digital? And social media, digital marketing, what does that, other than the emails?
Yes. Yeah, we're huge into social. So, and we're trying to get better and better every single day. And, the thing about social that's hard for me is that people love the human story, right? They love to see you. They love to see you talking about things. That's hard for me. That's not really my thing. Yeah. So we're trying to get over that, but we have always a huge response, when we do videos or branding videos or even talk about new construction, and we do like an informative little dive down, like a 60-second minute, that just kind of tells you what to kind of watch out for new construction or some tips or something like that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
But all of that type of stuff works well. As far as on the listing side of things, are you talking about to get listings?
Either one. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm just talking marketing right now, and then I'm going to ask you what your listing presentation looks like. But
yeah, and I think, sometimes I have to say we're really lucky with the fact that through all the hard work and all of kind of the ninjas out there, I have clients of mine who are my lead generators. So I had a client 2 days ago call me and say, "Listen, they went with this other agent. I just saw they took it off the market." I went over there, I knocked on his door, and I said, "You got to go out of the state to get anybody better. Here's her card. You got to call her." And so he's like, and I'm going to keep following up until he calls you. I'm like,
that is the best, isn't it? That's the best. Like, get raving fans. Fabian Fredrickson says that. Like, get fans, and that do a good job for people, and you put out to the world, they're going to give it right back to you.
And have fun.
That's awesome.
It.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're really blessed to be in the career that we're in, to work with all different types of people. We get to be our own bosses.
Exactly.
And we really get to love what we do.
Exactly.
I mean, this is we get to be a very big part of somebody's the biggest purchase that they make.
So now the last question, well, it's not the last question. It's like the next to the last question. But how would you say you look at the listing presentation? Do you do a presentation? Is it just an appointment? What is the vibe? What is the energy? How does it go? Tell us what you can tell us about what that looks like for you.
So Okay, so when I always do the listing presentations myself. So I'm the one who goes out.
For every listing the team has, you're the listing agent.
Everyone. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay.
Yep. So, I think it's just an art, right? You're playing to the person that's with you. So if they're lower keyed, you need to be a little bit more lower keyed. You need to play to who that person is. I think that sometimes people just are analytical. They just want to know the numbers. They want to get to the numbers. They don't want to see all the fluff. So there's a way that you got to be able to go through, say, 45 pages with quickly. And then there are other people that just want the fluff. So you need to be able to play to the audience that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
And at the end of the day, what I tell all of my clients is, look, I sell a lot of homes, but none of that matters. What matters is our relationship and how I'm going to sell your home and how I'm going to market it. And this is how I'm going to do it. And I start to go through everything that I'm doing. And a lot of times that they say to me, well, how much is that going to cost me? Like, what is your fee?
That's
like, what are you going to tell me? It's going to be 10%?
That's awesome.
You give me for 6. So, and then they just laugh, and it's just kind of light, and they see the value that I'm bringing to the table, because I do spend money on my listings.
Yeah.
I don't stick a sign in the yard.
Exactly.
And forget about them. And I tell them when we're going to be communicating with them on updates. Yes, they're going to get the feedback throughout, whether it's through phone call, through emails or whatever, because I want to know what they prefer. It's all about them. This is all about serving our clients.
Exactly. Beautifully said. I'm going to cut you off. Bye. I'm done. That was perfect. It's all about serving our clients. Isaac, edit everything else out.
Here's my soundbite.
I do have one more. Actually, there were 3 I heard in there. But we'll just have to do 3, right? Last question. And even though you kind of just said it right there, but I'm going to ask it anyway. This is what we're going to finish on. What is, because we've already got, actually, do you have any more book? Well, you already gave us the book. Power of Positive Leadership. Is that it?
Have to read it.
Have to read it.
I think I've read it for the 4th time.
Have to read it. Right, 4th? Oh no. I've only read Never Split the Difference 6 times. I'm still on 6.
Wow.
Well, it's because I read Energy Bus.
I have to catch up.
Okay, so we got in book. Power of Positive Leadership you read 4 times, or Energy Bus 4 times? Both?
Energy Bus twice.
Okay.
And it's by the same author. So it's kind of like part 2 Energy Bus.
I can't wait. Okay. So last question. What is the one thing, if me or everybody listening to this, if we're only going to retain one thing from this interview, what would you hope that one thing would be?
You got from my interview?
Right here, right now, today.
I just think that, sorry, you kind of went out there for a second. So,
sorry about that.
I think that all of, the sales and, all the things that come along with it are really great, flashy things. But at the end of the day, it's all about the people. It's about the people you work with. It's the people that you serve. It's about the firms you affiliate with. It's how you're involved in your association. I talked about having an open door policy. It's about not being too big for your pants. I mean, you just need to you leave your ego at the door. You just become collaborative, and you just want to help other people. We were doing a hire, and there was a team right down the way that said, Krueger, I know you've got some kind of manual. I know you've got something that can help us. And I was like, here you go. It's not like these are secrets.
That's awesome.
We're here to help each other, and we're here to serve other people. And so if we keep that as our main focus of being kind, being humble, always reading and trying to get better every single day, then you're going to be better.
Awesome. Thank you.